Welcome back to Sports Sunday. Ted Johnson, Breer, Phil Perry. Ted, what'd you think of Zappe's day?
Look, I mean, it was the best first half any quarterback for the Patriots had all season long. Yeah. I mean, but that was in the first half. You got to play 60 minutes. It's clearly teams, they get the first half on them. They see what the Patriots come out. They game plan. They make adjustments at halftime. Clearly, you see when the book is out on Bailey and they kind of know what they're trying to do with him, that they can make adjustments, and these teams shut him down in the second half. And I think that's what's probably is more of a gut punch after considering what's happened here with Mac Jones this season. Is just Bailey goes in, he gives you a spark a little bit when he replaces Mac, but he can't play the full 60 minutes clearly, and that's got to be disheartening for this team. I was hoping that maybe they'd have a quarterback after Mac Jones got benched.
I mean, I have two thoughts. I do think Bailey's played well enough to create a career for himself, and it's not a bad thing for a guy like that. Could make a couple $1 million a year for 10 years if you make it work. It's a good living. So that's
no doubt.
That's one piece of it. The second piece of it is, and it's going to sound weird to say this after today, man, was the team out on Mac. Like the energy that they've played with the last 2 weeks, watching the spark that he's given them at the beginning of these games, and maybe it hasn't lasted all the way through, but I just see more energy from the offense. I see them running an offense that looks coherent and well put together. I think this reflects well on Bill O'Brien, that he's able to, at least game it up so Bailey Zappe can look pretty good. And I really look at the last 2 weeks. It's like an indictment on Mac Jones. It's like, how far has he fallen? How much belief did he lose in that locker room? It just makes me think Mac's got to go somewhere else after this year, unless there's a completely new staff and a bunch of new players.
You mentioned Bill O'Brien. Do you think that's the explanation for the first half versus second half splits? Is he just a quarterback who can run the script, right? Yeah. First 15 plays, and then after that it goes sideways on him? I think that's
why Matt Patricia and Joe Judge preferred Bailey Zappe last year, as they were trying to put in a new offense. And again, no one thinks it was a good idea for them to go down that road and have Joe and Matt in charge of the offense. But I do think that was part of the frustration, is you're trying to do some new things offensively and put in a new offense. And Mac was rebelling against everything, where Bailey was running the offense as it was prescribed. And, I think that at the very least and I don't know, Ted, you can speak to this better than I can, but I think part of how a quarterback loses a team is if he's not doing what he's supposed to do, it makes it harder for the other 10 guys in the huddle to do their jobs. And so maybe that spark is, at least when you break the huddle, the other 10 guys know where the ball's going. Ted, he knows what's going to be run.
Ted, I wanted to ask you, you've called Bailey Zappe bridgy, quote unquote, before. Do you still feel like he could be the bridge to whatever's next? If they draft a young quarterback, would you be comfortable having Bailey Zappe start a few games to start 2024 before handing the reins to a younger player?
I would be a little bit apprehensive. First off, if Mac Jones is here, so it can't be Mac Jones, Bailey Zappe, and a new quarterback. They clearly just Bailey and Mac don't work. The only thing I would worry about with Bailey is I'm not sure if Bailey will understand his role. If he's the bridge guy and he thinks he's the starter and he's not going to give up his job. That you want that quarterback, the backup quarterback and the starting quarterback, to have a relationship, a good one, a positive one. Bailey Zappe has proven, at least up to this point, that he might be a combative guy when it comes to that. Look, I get his confidence in himself, but there's also kind of understanding your role. Like you said, Burr, I mean, this kid could have, a 10, 12-year career as a backup, being a bridgy type quarterback. But to answer your question, Phil, I think he can be that serviceable bridge type quarterback if he understands his role when the new guy comes in.